In the stillness of the night, something moves. Not a shadow. Not a sound. Just a silent force cutting across the sky, unseen, undetected. This isn't science fiction. This is the B-2 Spirit, America's invisible ghost of the sky. It can fly across the world. Drop 20 tons of destruction. And disappear like it was never there. At $2 billion apiece, it's the most expensive aircraft ever built. But what makes it worth that price? Let's uncover the insane engineering behind the B-2 stealth bomber. It all started in the Cold War. The year was 1975. The US and Soviet Union were locked in a silent standoff, both armed with enough nukes to end the world several times over. America's main defense? Massive B-52 bombers circling the skies, always on standby, always ready. But those beasts were easy to spot, big, loud, and visible on radar from miles away. And Soviet defenses? They were getting smarter. It became clear those B-52s wouldn't survive a first strike. So the US needed something new. Not just faster. Not just stronger. They needed something invisible. Oddly enough, the future was buried in the past. In the 1940s, a man named Jack Northrop had a dream, a flying wing. No tail. No fuselage. Just a single sweeping wing cutting through the sky. His design flew. But back then, computers didn't exist to keep it stable. So the Air Force scrapped the project. Every prototype was destroyed. But decades later, the Cold War gave that dream a second life. The Air Force launched the Advanced Technology Bomber Program, codename ATB. They wanted a bomber that could sneak past Soviet radar and strike deep into enemy territory. And Northrop, now Northrop Grumman, won the contract. The flying wing was back. But this time with 21st century tech. The B-2 doesn't look like any normal plane, and that's the point. Every angle, every curve, every panel is designed to do one thing: avoid detection. No vertical tail. No sharp edges. Just a smooth bat-like shape that reflects almost no radar waves. Even the cockpit glass is radar resistant. The engines? Hidden deep inside the wing. The exhaust? Spread out and cooled to hide from heat-seeking missiles. In radar terms, the B-2 doesn't look like a plane. It looks like a bird. Or a tennis ball. That's stealth. That's power. Now let's talk about the skin. It's not metal. It's not plastic. It's something else entirely. The B-2 is covered in classified radar-absorbing materials, RAM, as the engineers call it. This coating doesn't reflect radar, it swallows it. Every bolt is hidden. Every seam is smoothed. Even a tiny screw sticking out could give the plane away. The result? An aircraft that vanishes from radar. A bomber that can fly over the world's most defended airspace and never be seen. But here's the crazy part. Planes have tails for a reason. They keep you stable in the air. Without one, flight gets messy. That's where fly-by-wire comes in. The B-2 is flown entirely by computers. Hundreds of tiny adjustments every second keep it level, smooth, and controlled. The pilots don't fly the plane directly. They give commands, and the system makes it happen. Without this system, the B-2 would wobble, spin, and drop like a paper airplane. With it, it flies like a ghost on rails. This isn't just a fancy design experiment, it's a weapon. The B-2 can carry 20 tons of bombs. That's 40,000 pounds of explosive payload. From bunker-busting missiles to GPS-guided bombs, it can hit 80 targets in a single mission. And yes, nuclear bombs too. Its range? Over 11,000 kilometers on one tank. With refueling, it can reach anywhere on Earth. It flies at 50,000 feet, higher than most commercial jets. And it does all this with just 2 crew members inside. 2 people. One plane. Global reach. Each B-2 costs over $2 billion. That's more than the GDP of some countries. Why so expensive? Because it's made of secrets. Special coatings that need constant reapplication. Computer systems that are upgraded almost every year. And only 21 were ever built. Keeping them flying is a full-time job. But ask any US commander and they'll tell you it's worth every dollar. Because when the world is watching, sometimes the best move is to disappear. The B-2 Spirit isn't just a bomber. It's a message. A whisper in the sky that says, "We're here, but you'll never see us coming." From Cold War fears to future battlefields, the B-2 is proof that innovation and imagination can bend the laws of warfare. And as the next generation, the B-21 Raider, prepares to take flight, one thing is clear: stealth isn't going away. It's just getting started.